so much of a frequently asked question. It's a bit more of a rant, but I do get asked about other brands of dog food by my customers. There's lots of my customers might, buy treats and toppers and other things from me, but not necessarily raw food. Not all my customers are raw feeders, and that's fine. So occasionally I'll get asked about, oh, what do you think about this brand? What do you think about this brand? And I'm not one to go and bag other brands. I'm certainly not going to name any of them. But I am going to talk about ingredients and cheap fillers because they are out there and you should know about it. I've got nothing to hide. Go read my ingredients lists. Go read them and then go compare them to the whatever meal subscription, dog food subscription service that you subscribe to, because there's a lot of them now. There's a lot of them. They come in a nice branded box to your door, and you can get dry food, biscuits, lightly cooked, raw, a mixture of all of the above, blah, 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 blah. There are a lot of them. And I get all the targeted ads for them too. And I get the emails in my inbox that they've teamed up with another human meal subscription service to deliver all your food to you to your door. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. What a great idea. And so I go onto their website, and the first thing I look for is the ingredients list. And a lot of these dog food subscription businesses, they've got really nice websites. Oh, they're really nice. I am jealous of how nice their websites are, because those websites cost a lot of money to build. Anyway, they've got really nice websites. They've got really clever marketing. They've got their trust icons, Australian made, grass-fed beef, bloody whatever, formulated, yada, yada, yada. That's all great. You go, wow, this is a really good food, right? But you know what? It doesn't matter what the cow ate if there's not much beef in it. Sorry, this makes me really angry. Because our food is expensive. It's true, it's expensive. And you know why it's expensive? Because there are no cheap fillers in it. There is nothing in there that is cheap for me to put in there. Okay? And these foods, right? So I go to their website and I'm like, okay, what's in it? Tell me what's in it. And you click around their website. And a lot of them, it's actually kind of difficult to find the ingredients list. So that's your first red flag. If you go to your dog foods website to find the ingredients and they're not immediately apparent, I had to click around this website for ages. They had all the nice pictures of the whatever meats are in there, blah 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 blah, but the actual ingredients list with the percentages or the amounts of what is in there was very hard to find. So that's the number one red flag. If it's hard to find, why is it hard to find? So anyway, one example, when I found the ingredients list finally, I had a look and I'm looking through blah 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 blah. First one was meat. Okay, great, that's great. So it's got a high percentage of meat in it. And then the second one was, say, chickpeas, for example, and then I can't even remember what the other cheap fillers were, but they were both a certain percentage that totaled 54%. So this food that they're banging on to be so fantastic is more than half of chickpeas and beans or some other food that is not an appropriate source of protein for a dog. It's just not. No dog. Would you serve up a plate of food to your dog that is more than half chickpeas or beans, whatever? No, you wouldn't. It should be more than half meat and maybe some other things, but way more than half meat, if possible. So that's annoying. And then a second one that I got an email in my inbox about recently, and I'm like, oh, they look cool. This brand looks great, nice website, pretty pictures, yada, 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 all this slick marketing. And I go on and I find their ingredients list, and it's a similar thing, but fava beans or some shit. So it just makes me mad because they're really good at marketing and they're really good at seeming trustworthy, and you look at their websites and you go, yeah, this is a good food, but it's not. It's full of cheap fillers. It's more than half cheap fillers, and people are paying similar amounts to that what you pay for my food that doesn't have any cheap fillers that I hand make. I know exactly what goes in it. You can see exactly what goes in it. There's no preservatives, there's no crap, there's no beans, there's no fucking chickpeas. There is just meat, mainly meat, which is how it should be, and not all this other crap. So yeah, I'm not going to name the brands, but if you get one of these really nice, slick marketing dog branded foods, go and read the ingredients. Oh, that's the other thing. So the cheap fillers aside, if the first ingredient, and this was the second example I was talking about, the first ingredient was not meat, actually, it was meat meal. Meat meal. Meat meal is not meat. It is not meat. Go and do a little bit of research about what meat meal is and how it comes to being meat meal, which is like this powdery crap. And if that is the first ingredient, that is the main ingredient, along with the cheap fillers, these foods are no better than the absolute crap you get from the supermarket. And don't even start me on the absolute crap you get from the supermarket. If you are feeding your dog food from Aldi or whatever, I'll talk about the big chains because I don't give a shit. Woolworths, Baxter's, absolute horrible stuff. Horrible stuff. Do not feed it. Do not feed your dog food from the supermarket. You are better off going to the butcher or getting them some raw meaty bones or whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to go into accent. People are like, an unbalanced raw diet is worse than a balanced kibble. Well, disagree, but whatever. Baxter's, I don't think there's anything you could feed your dog that's worse than Baxter's food from Woolworths. But anyway, meat meal is not meat. It's not meat. It is not meat. If that is the first ingredient, not good enough. If the next ingredients or the majority of the food is made up of things like chickpeas, fava beans, potato, crap like that, there's very little nutritional benefits to feeding those things. They're fine in small amounts, absolutely fine. If they're a minor part of the ingredients, sure, no problems. But when they're more than half, no, not okay. Not okay. And I know, like, it's not a perfect world and not everyone can afford to feed expensive food. That's fine. If you can only afford to feed your dog, food from the supermarket, whatever, add a little bit of fresh food to their diet if you can, even a small amount of some fresh veggies, some fresh offal, some cheap raw meaty bones that you can get from the butcher off cuts. Just add some fresh food, that's fine. But for the people that are seeking out high quality food and that can afford to feed the best and want to feed the best, but are buying these brands that are full of shit, that's what makes me angry. That's what really annoys me, because I'm telling you, it's slick marketing and y'all are falling for it. Sorry, but it's true. The ingredients list doesn't lie, so go read it.